All right, y'all. Can you
I
guys
think
hear
they
me?
have. I think they're still in weight training.
Oh, they're in wait. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully they'll be able to pop in. But this will be good. For now, we got a smaller group. So let's do a recap. What do you guys? What's resonating with you guys right now? We've covered a lot of information in 3 days. And I will tell you guys time and time again, I'm so proud of you. What is resonating with you guys through this?
What's resonating me?
So, like, what's sticking with you?
Oh, I think the fear one. I really enjoyed that one,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the one I think that sticks the most.
Okay. What do you think, Piper?
I'd say like the ability to like make changes in my life for the better, like being able to change my schedules and stuff.
Yeah. And I really want to focus on like change. Change doesn't sound nice, right? I tell people time and time again, change is the hardest thing. We're not wanting to change, we want to enhance. We want to adjust because when we talk about change, it makes it kind of seem like we're wanting to change who you are.
15-minute grace period.
But when we're talking about change, we really want to focus on how can I enhance? What can I adjust? What can stay and what can go? Remember, we talked about file versus shred? Like you file what you want to keep and you shred what you don't. That could be the same thing. We talked about that in the standpoint of like your fear and your thought process, but that could be the same thing in the sense of your life, right? Like I want to file my good habits of getting up early and I want to shred my bad habits of snoozing that alarm. Does that make sense? Okay. So both of you are resonating with, or it's sticking to you. I gotta think about my words. It's sticking to you guys of making those adjustments, enhancing your lifestyle. Madeline, you talked about your phone. That's a huge deal. Piper, you're talking about your whole life. So you didn't even just stick to it with basketball. You stuck to it with my life, right? Which is what the goal of this is to be a lifestyle shift, right? Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I'm hanging out with Piper and Madeline.
Hello.
All right. Okay. So we were talking about what is sticking to you guys so far. What about that we've learned is sticking to y'all?
Did y'all hear what she said?
Well, talk with Foodie about that.
Fear.
Fear. Okay. What else?
You can't control what others do, but you can control your attitude.
Yep. Or what we can and what we cannot control. Okay. What else?
Facing our problems.
Yes, but we're calling them what? We're not calling them problems. What are we calling them?
Mishaps.
Mishaps. Did you guys get to do your mishap cards?
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna need some participation. She's asking y'all some questions and y'all just looking and not answering. Please answer her. Not the same two people. No, man.
That's okay. Listen, we got time, right? But time is money. Time is money. We want to be able to create those solutions. So today, I'll give you an example. Today, it's terrible weather in Louisiana. I don't know why it's raining in October. I don't like it. But I was worried about the weather. Coach Macy helped me figure out a mishap, right? The mishap, what if the power goes out? I got my phone. I got it charged. I have my service, right? What if there's no lighting? We got windows. We got rooms with windows. We're sometimes you got to think on your feet. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get everybody engaged. Where are you guys coming from?
Wait.
Ooh, y'all are working hard. All right, everybody stand up. All right, we're gonna do some stretching. We're gonna get ourselves engaged. All right. You do some stretching. So I want you to stretch your arms over your body and stretch your arms down to your knees. And then do it again. Over your body and down to your knees. And then I want you to stretch from side to side, side to side. Loosen up your body. Your body's probably tired. And then we're going to do what there you go. We're going to do what Coach Lisa did. We're going to shake it out. Shake it out. All right. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. So yesterday we talked about so much. Our mishap cards. Hopefully that's something that y'all can do in practice, but definitely something that y'all can do individually. That we want you guys to do both. We want you to do it as a team. We want you to do it individually because mishaps happen regardless. And it's not always a basketball thing. Sometimes it's a lifestyle thing. That's what Piper was talking about earlier, right? This is a lifestyle. This isn't only a basketball player for you guys. This is a lifestyle change, right? So we want to talk about, I'm going to add in some things here. So some of the things that we didn't get to cover yesterday was talking to yourself versus listening to yourself. What do you think that means?
You can say you're going to do something, but then don't do it. Like you could tell yourself, I'm going to do this, but then you won't do it.
Yes, that's a great example. Okay. Talking to yourself is like, I'm going to be a 5 a.m. girly. Isn't that the thing on TikTok? Isn't that what the girls are saying? I'm going to be a gym girly, right? Or I'm going to be a gym boy, whatever the case is. And it's exactly what you said. You talking to yourself, okay? And you can make it happen. But when you're listening to yourself, so we're talking to ourselves versus listening to ourselves. When we're only listening to ourselves, it's kind of like when your mom's talking to you or your dad or a coach or somebody, and you're like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm listening. Right? But then what happens when somebody gets a stern voice? What do y'all do?
Got your attitude. Yeah, attitude.
You move with a little bit more purpose, right? We want to talk to ourselves like you are going to get up and go to the gym. You are going to eat healthy. You are going to drink water, whatever that is for you, right? Because we want to create a bounce back ability. So this is when I call it my soapbox, but this is when we talk about muting ourselves, right? So one thing that I like to highlight when I am meeting with athletes is that negative talk is natural. It's going to come. I can't believe I missed that shot. I haven't been doing enough in the gym. I haven't been doing this. I haven't been doing that. And it's going to flow and flow and flow and flow. Where do you think, do you think we would file that or shred that? Shred it, right? Because what we want to do is we want to be like, stop. Or, nope, I'm not going to talk like that. And we want to create that bounce back ability. You're fine. Highlight what you need to work on. Let's move on. Right? So we want to talk to ourselves. We want to have that. I call it a mom voice because I have a baby. We want to have that mom voice where you're like, okay, she's not playing. Right? And one of the things that I talk about is when you have this sense of voice that's like, you're doing great. Yeah, you're such a good shooter. Oh, you think you believe yourself? Or do you think that when you're doing your affirmations and you're like, I am loved, I am good at basketball, do you think you believe yourself? No. You got to be like, I'm good at basketball. I am loved. I am kind, right? You have to say it with enthusiasm. You have to say it in a voice that you yourself is going to believe. Because that's kind of like when people come up to you and they're like, oh, you look nice today. How do you feel about that compliment?
I like when people say I smell good.
You like when people say you smell good.
Yep.
When I think about that comment, you look nice today, I'd be like, so every other day I didn't look nice, or what was going on the rest of the week? Because why did I only look nice today? Right? We want to create a world that's like every day I'm the best version of myself. Every day I'm creating, every day I'm going to smell good. That becomes your lifestyle, right? So, huh?
Yes, they were just agreeing. I was letting her know y'all was just agreeing.
So we want to know, we know that what failure is coming, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't fail, you don't what?
Get better.
You don't get better. That's one thing that we were talking about. We don't want to always talk about change. Change doesn't sound fun. Change doesn't sound motivating, but we can enhance. And to enhance, you got to fail. You got to try a routine that doesn't work and you got to try a new one. Right? So we have reviewed so much. And I want to know what has worked so much or so far with your team. Or what has worked so far with you?
What?
Speak up to somebody.
Communicating with each other.
Uh-huh. What else?
And complimenting each other.
Being more understanding. with my-
Being more understanding. Okay. What else?
Helping each other. Helping each other.
Helping each other. Okay. So it's perfect things, right? We're working on it. The biggest thing with this level of training, with this kind of training, is application. It's kind of like when you, what's a good example? Application is like when you do something and then it's kind of like therapy or talking to a teacher, right? And they're like, in order to do good on the test, you got to study. And you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to study, right? And you're like, oh, listening in class is enough. Is that good application?
No.
Mm-mm.
You got to apply what you're living, what you're learning, right? So we've talked about the pillars. Do you guys remember the 3 pillars? We talking about it on Monday. It was a long time ago. What do elite performers do?
The red one.
Huh?
They believe in consistency. God.
What are our, I mean, y'all are on to something. What are our 3, what do elite performers do? There's 3 of them.
They believe in consistency.
You said they believe in consistency.
Okay, y'all are getting on the track. Y'all are getting on track. Okay, put these in your notebook. Are y'all ready? Okay, get ready. The 3 pillars. Number 1, consistency is the truest measure of performance. Okay. Consistency is the truest measure of performance. Number 2, we never recruit our own problems. And then number 3, elite performers leave nothing to chance ever. Y'all got it?
No, the 3rd one. Yeah.
Leave nothing to chance ever. These are in a different order. So let me go in the right order. Consistency is the truest measure of performance. Okay. We never recruit our own problems. And elite performers leave nothing to chance ever. Y'all got it?
Yeah.
So who can give me an example of recruiting your own problem? Okay, Madeline, you got it.
Like when you have a bad day and like you go to practice and you try to like rub it off on other people. Like, rub
That's
your
right.
energy off.
Yep. Okay. You have a bad day, you bring it into practice. And then when you're taking it into practice, now practice isn't good. So what can we do if we have a bad day? What? Who said it?
If you said
There
that,
we
what?
go.
Leave it.
If we're having a bad day, we can do what? Somebody said it.
She said leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it. We can leave it. Right? Remember that was a part of your guys' take-home assignment. Put it on a water bottle, touch the door frame, touch the light switch, put it on your locker, leave it, and then go pick it up when you're ready, right?
Sticker.
Yes, a sticker. Finding a sticker and leaving it. You could put it, I would say, or Coach Macy would say, putting it on a water bottle, because every player has a water bottle that generally goes to practice with you, right? So we also talked about free dopamine versus slow release dopamine. Y'all remember?
A little bit.
Okay. So remember, free dopamine is sugar. It's if I do this one thing, I'm going to reward myself, even though I have a list of things to do. Free dopamine can be like social media. It's what I call instant gratification. So instant gratification is like, I am hungry, but I don't want to cook dinner, so I'm going to go out to eat, and I'm going to eat a bunch of junk food because I don't want to cook dinner and I want food right now. That's instant gratification. Getting something right now. Okay, that's free dopamine. How long does free dopamine last?
Not long. Short.
Not long. It burns quickly. Remember that your $5 of gas, $5 gas, $5 gas. Your slow release dopamine is what?
The dopamine that builds up over time.
The dopamine that builds up over time. Okay, choices, decisions, habits. It's dopamine that builds up over time. And we build up that dopamine instead of saying, okay, I got a good grade on my test, so I'm going to eat some ice cream. Is that slow or free dopamine?
Free.
That's free dopamine. Okay. We want to enhance and build our slow release dopamine that is built over time. So remember, write this down. Dopamine that is built over time are choices, decisions, and habits. It's what I would call filling your bucket. You're filling your bucket. Okay. So dopamine, slow dopamine, choices, decisions, and habits. Now, they got to be choices and habits that are building. Your habit can't be, I scroll on my phone for 4 hours a day. Okay, they've got to be choices, decisions, and habits that are going to increase capacity and build that dopamine, that slow release dopamine. Okay. All right. What are the two words that we don't say?
Just. And
Uh-huh.
I don't know the other word.
Try.
Try. Just and try. Okay. We don't say just and we don't say try. Why do we take just out of our vocabulary?
Because you want to do it the best you can and not.
Yes. You want to give it all you got. You want to give it all you got. Okay. Why do we take try?
If you don't really want to try to do something, you want to do it.
You want to do it. You want to do it. Okay. So we want to take those out of our vocabulary. What is our BLT?
Believe things and believe. Believe and think.
Yes. Believe, live, and think. They must be aligned. If you believe you are the best, you have to create a life that makes you the best, and you have to think, I am the best. Okay, that ties in, that can tie in with our bridge words. I'm struggling with this. However, I have the resources to help me get better. Or I'm not a good shooter right now, but I've been practicing, I've been in the gym. You have to create that world. You can't say it, you can't listen to yourself and never put any action behind it. Because what if every day you went and talked to coach? And well, actually, I'm gonna change it up. Most of y'all are in a grade where you are either talking to somebody or dating somebody. Okay. What if you had a significant other or somebody that you were talking to that was like, yeah, I'm gonna take you on a date. And they said it every day for 30 days and you never went on a date. What would you do?
Stop believing.
I'll probably leave them alone, right? Because why?
Because
they're lying.
Well,
they trust.
maybe they're saying like, I'm gonna try to take you on a date.
You know money. They in high school.
So we would say we would break up with them because there's no action behind it. If we're only listening to the person, words sound pretty. I tell people that all the time. Words can sound pretty. Songs, they sound good. Poems, they sound good. Where's the action? Right? So it's the same thing with yourself. If you're telling yourself, I'm going to be the best, you got to do what to be the best?
Use your own.
You got to put your work in, right? You got to put in the work. All right. What is our Fi plus G or plus T times G equals M? What is that?
Force and time machine.
Uh-huh.
God,
Everybody's speaking at the same time.
Yes. Focused intention plus T equals time times G, God, or what you believe in, and M equals momentum. Y'all got it? Y'all got it? So one of the things that I had that flagged my mind when we talked about this is when we're talking about focused intention and we're talking about goals, what do you think is a better goal for yourself? To be the best, or I want to shoot 70% from the three? What do you think sounds better?
Do the best.
Out of what?
It's more specific.
So,
Between what?
huh?
You said what sounds better? Like between what?
Okay, so if I came to you and I'm like, my goal is to be the best, That was all I gave you. And then I came to you and I said, my goal is to shoot 70% from the three. Which one sounds better?
70%.
70%. Okay. Because it's specific. If
Yeah.
I wake up and I'm like, my goal is to do better. Well, what am I going to do better at?
That's right.
And how am I going to do better? And when am I going to do better? But if I woke up and I said, I am going to walk for 30 minutes, 3 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you think I'm going to do it?
Yeah,
Why?
because it's specific and you're setting days for you to do it.
Yes, because it's specific. So when we're talking about our focused intention, we want to be specific. What is your specific goal? And then your time. What time are you going to put towards that goal? Right?
Yes.
It's got to be something that you are motivated to work towards, because without any specificity, that's a big word, without being specific, you don't even know what you're working on. So do you think your motivation with that goes up or down?
Now.
Down. Okay. So we talked about your AOF, your butts on fire, right? Did you guys talk about the cool jacket?
No.
Y'all know what that is?
No.
So I'm gonna throw it in here. So your butt on fire, creating a catalyst for your butt on fire, right? We talked about that yesterday. We want to be prepared. We want to build up that slow dopamine. This is all going to stack on top of each other. Okay. When we're talking about our butt on fire, remember we were talking about going through the storm. And then what is attitude?
Everything.
It starts with a G. Starts with a G.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Gratitude is attitude. Okay. We are creating the solution when we use gratitude. We are creating magic when we use gratitude. It will release the fear driver because we're recognizing what we're working towards. So instead of saying, this is hard and I'm tired, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to have a team to be on. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to wake up today, right? It changes that mindset. It is the fear driver, okay? It releases the fear driver, okay? And then when I talk about the cool jacket, I call it a filter. How many of y'all use filters on your pictures? or on when you make TikToks? Or Snapchat. Don't Snapchat have that little them little things you can put on your face, like the doggy ears and
That's a filter.
whatever other ones they got? So y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
So when we talk about utilizing this training, you got to take them filters off. You can't walk around like my coach when I played, he used to call us airport teams. Like, you look good, but are you good? Because you can look good, but not be the best, right? You can look the best, but not be the best. You got to take those filters off. You got to take off that cool jacket. Why? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this is a lifestyle change. You can't be the 97% have on cool jackets. The 97% have on filters or Photoshop or whatever they're using, right? So what we want to do, we want to take those off. We want to be vulnerable. We want to make this enhancement. We want to make these adjustments. Okay. Do y'all remember what is the ratio of red bricks to green bricks? Y'all remember?
No.
1,000 to 1. Which one do you think is the 1,000?
Red brick.
The red brick. Okay. You could have so many green bricks, but if you're continuing to stack them on a red brick, do you think that your green bricks are as impactful? So I think about it like this. If this is my red brick and these are my green bricks, which one do you think is going to be more impactful to me?
Red.
This one, right?
Yes.
Because you can have so many green bricks, but you still got this big old like stop sign just sitting there. This big old red octagon, right? We bring that up because so many times the 97% will be like, build, build, build. I got good habits. I have good routines. I have good lifestyle changes, but they still have this huge red brick in their life. So do you think that they're really becoming increasing their emotional intelligence? You think if they have all these changes, but they still have these red bricks following them around, you think that they're getting better? No, because it's kind of like when we talk about that momentum. Remember Coach Macy talked about the snowball?
Yes.
How many of y'all have been around snow? What happens when you keep adding snow to a snowball?
It gets harder and it builds up.
It gets harder and it builds up. So think of your momentum as that green brick. So in my mind, my snowball is massive. Like it's been rolling down a mountain for months, right? What do you think is going to happen when you've built that momentum, you've built that change, and then a red brick comes flying at you?
It's gonna break or something.
I mean, it might chip it a little bit, but you think if my snowball has been rolling for months, that it's going to break my snowball one red brick?
No.
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 Oh,
Right?
no. Yeah.
But what if I only did this for like 2 weeks and then a red brick comes? So I've had this training for months and I only did it for 2 weeks and a red brick comes. What's going to happen to my snowball?
It's gonna break.
It's going to break. Or what if I don't reach the goal that I set and I give up? What's going to happen to my snowball?
It's gonna break.
It's going to break. It's not going to build at all because I'm like, well, I didn't reach my goal, so my momentum is gone. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So then we talked about fear. What does fear cause in your life? Not disease, but what? Dis-ease. Okay? Lacking the harmony in your body. And dis-ease can come from our fear drivers. A gold star to the person that can give me our fear drivers. Or 3 category list.
Feel you close to your soul.
Uh-huh.
Others kind of situations.
What? You get a gold star. If I could give it to you, I would.
Grace. Good job, Grace.
Fears that you cause yourself, fears that others cause, fears that the situation causes. My skill for this is when you have that fear, you're taking it out of here because our brain is the strongest what in our body? Muscle. So if I'm pumping up my brain with protein, but I'm never working out, okay? So it's like you're taking protein, but you're never working out. What's going to happen to your body?
Well, you might get big, but you won't be able to.
You going to get big. All I'm drinking is protein. I ain't never in the gym.
You're gonna get a handle.
You gonna get big, right? Because we're not working the muscle. Okay. So if fear is my protein and all I'm filling my brain with is fear, you think I'm building my muscle? No. Okay. You want to build that muscle. So get it out. Write your fears down. That's when we can use our bridging thoughts. I'm nervous. I'm not going to do well this season, but I'm practicing every day. I hate that I'm not getting as strong as I want in the gym or as strong as I want in a weight room, but I went up 0.5 pounds from last week. Use those bridge thoughts. Get them out of your mind, okay? And focus on, remember we talked about what happened for you versus what happened to you. Okay? What was that? When we talked about that, what did that mean yesterday?
If you have like 3,000 things and coach takes you out, he's taking you out for a reason.
Yes. Okay. What happened for you? You are the interpreter of your own reality. You can say he took you out because all you keep doing is making mistakes, or you can say he took me out so that I can reset. He cares about me because he's given me an opportunity to get to go back in. He's not letting me foul out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got our gratitude phrases. Okay. We're going where? Are we going through the storm or away from the storm?
Storm.
We're going through the storm. Okay. We're getting to the other side. Remember we did our breathing, our box breathing?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys can also do that on the bench, belly breathing. So you blow your belly up like a balloon and then you let it out. Okay. That's another way that you can do it discreetly if you don't want to move your box around. Blowing up your balloon, letting your balloon out. And instead of problems, we call them what? Mishaps. So right now, I want, you guys can do this as a team too, but right now I want everybody to think of their mute phrase. So your brain is having this, your negative self-talk is taking over. What are you going to tell yourself to stop your self-talk from being so negative?
It's okay.
You're going to tell yourself the negative thoughts are okay? You're on the right track. You're on the right track. But think about this. You had a bad practice and you go home to tell your best friend and they're like, oh, it's okay. How would you feel?
I'll feel
Or you're talking to coach like, man, I've been practicing bad. And he's like, oh, it's okay.
I don't really care.
No. I feel like that's kind of discouraging, right? So I want you to think about your mute button. I'm going to call it a mute button phrase. I want you to think about this phrase like somebody that has repeated themselves to you. How many people like when people repeat phrases? Like, hey, I need you to take out the trash. And then 5 minutes later, by the way, you got to take out the trash. And then 3 minutes later, did you take out the trash yet? What does that do to you guys?
annoyed.
It's annoying, right?
Exactly.
So your mute button, you don't want it. You want it to be a phrase that is not like, okay, I hear myself say this all the time. You want that phrase to hit you so hard that you're like, I got to move on. I got to stop, right? So a stop phrase would be like, get it together. A stop phrase could be like, I'm not thinking about this. A stop phrase is these thoughts don't help me. They hinder me, right? Sometimes I've heard people say that a stop phrase or a mute button phrase is literally stop. Like, stop. I'm not thinking about that, right? Something that is going to stick with you so much that when you hear it, you know it's time that this is putting you in the red zone, not keeping you in the yellow or the green. So take a minute to write that down. Write down your mute button phrase. All right, y'all ready?
See,
All right. I don't know if everybody's ready, but that's okay. You guys got time to think about it. All right. So the next thing is we want to talk about trading expectation for appreciation. Y'all know what that means?
No.
So what is it? Somebody give me an expectation.
If you're nice to somebody, you expect them to be nice back.
Okay. Right. If you're nice to somebody, you expect them to be nice back. But what if they don't have all this great training that you have and they take their red day out on you?
it's gonna be a problem.
It could be a problem, right? How could you, what could be your appreciation in that moment?
They're letting it out. I'm not following it up.
What'd you say?
They're letting it out instead of keep building it up.
Yeah, you could say, oh, I appreciate I gave them the opportunity to do that. You got all this great training, so you're like, your day is not going to affect my day. Sorry, you're having a bad day, right? Expectation for trading expectation for appreciation, okay? Expectation could be like, when I played on this team, I played the whole time. And appreciation could be, this is a different team, so I appreciate that I get to see the court, right? I appreciate that when I'm out there, I've got the training that I need to get to be effective for this team, because we're a team at the end of the day, right? So appreciation could be like, I appreciate the fact that I have somebody that could sub me out when I need a break, because I don't want to play in the red zone. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Expectation could be, I passed this test, so I expect to pass every test, but I didn't study for this test. So I appreciate that I even passed this test. Right? I appreciate that I was able to build and do it. Expectation is, I didn't study for this test, so I'm not going to study for any other test, but I expect to pass every test. You think that's going to work? No.
No.
We got to be sure that we are creating a world where we are not recruiting our own problems. If you're consistently focusing on expectation, what's going to happen? When your expectations aren't met, what's going to happen to you? Right? You're going to recruit your own problems. Your interpretation of reality is going to change. So appreciation kind of sounds like what? It starts with a G. Gratitude. Okay. Appreciation is like gratitude. All right. So something that you guys are going to work on is creating your zone phrases. So what are the colors of our zones?
Red, yellow, green.
Red, yellow, and green. And what's our red zone?
Sad, anger.
Our red zone is our emotional intelligence is what?
Low.
Low. I call this putting your emotions in the driver's seat. Have you guys ever seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes.
What about the second one? Have y'all seen the second one? Oh, Piper, I don't want to ruin it for you. Okay. So in the second movie, what was anxiety doing?
Thinking too much.
Yeah. And she was creating fears for Riley, right?
Yeah.
And so what was happening? Anxiety had this room of people and they were drawing up what? They were drawing up fears, all the things that could go wrong. Okay. And then when anxiety got too much, what was she doing?
She was spinning around some.
She was spinning around the control center so fast that everything else in the room had stopped. What zone do you think Riley was in? The red zone. Because she couldn't what? Because she didn't have 2 feet in training. No, she was learning her emotions at that time, right? But that's what I would call your emotions being in the driver's seat. And when I say that, I always think about my baby is almost 11 months old. And I always think about when my emotions are in the driver's seat, like she's driving me around. How do you think that would go? That would be scary, awful, right? Because I don't have no control. When I let my emotions drive, I don't have no control. What happens when you stay in the driver's seat and your emotions are passengers?
You take control.
You have control, okay? Perfect. Y'all are getting it. Okay, so I have 3 cards. Now, mine is pink, but I need you to imagine that it's red because this is what I had, okay? So we got our green, our gold, and our red, okay? You create a phrase for each zone. So the way that we would explain this is when you're in the red zone, somebody would say something to you that triggers a response in your brain that says, oh, I'm in a red zone. And then you could do a gratitude list. You could do a coping skill. You could do a breathing, your box breathing, any kind of breathing, really, some deep breathing to build us back up into what zone? From red to what?
Green.
Right? Yellow. Red to yellow to green. So your red zone phrase is, I had a couple players, their red zone phrase, they literally wanted us to call them by their first, middle, and last name. And that triggered in their brain, okay, I'm in a red zone. And that was what worked for them. There's no right or wrong answer. Then we're going to take it a step further and create a red zone phrase as a team. Why do you think we would need it as a team?
So we won't say those phrases to get them in the red zone and say the ones that get them in the green or the yellow.
Right, right. Because we're recognizing that our team, I call it team cohesion, but team togetherness is low. We're recognizing that people are feeding off of each other. So-and-so's energy was low, and then that led to the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person. And it's helping recognize our team is in the red zone. Okay. The next is yellow. Your yellow zone phrase is, it's what I call when you get comfortable, right? You get comfortable and we're not making any enhancements. We're not really challenging ourselves. And we want to stay neutral, but we also want to recognize we can't cruise in the yellow. There are going to be times we need to be our best, right? So our yellow zone phrase is like, look at what you look at where you are, right? Look at how look at everything that you've overcome, or look at how much potential you have. It is like that motivator to be like, oh, okay, keep me closer to the green, right? Then we got our green zone phrase. And our green zone phrase is going to remind us that we deserve to be at our highest capacity, right? So our green zone phrase could be like, so-and-so would be so proud of you, or you make them so proud. We're building ourselves back up. That makes sense? Yeah. So it's the same thing as a team. So the yellow zone, you guys are out there and you're making like lackadaisical passes and you're up by 20. So you're cruising it out because you're like, oh, they can't come back from 20. It's like, oh, okay, we're too far in the yellow zone, right? Like, look at what you've overcome. Don't give it up now. And the green zone is when you're getting ready for a game, like, oh my gosh, so-and-so would be so proud of me if they saw that I was playing right now, right? Then I want to talk about your why. What do you think that is? Your why.
The reason why you do things.
The reason why you do something. We call it a passion statement. Okay? It is your passion statement. Your passion statement, it is a truthful description to yourself that will allow you to maintain passion for what you do and why you started. A true description to yourself is your passion statement. So when I say that, what comes to mind? A true description to yourself.
What was the question?
So if I say, what does that mean to you? A true description to yourself that allows you to maintain the passion for what you do.
Self-esteem.
Huh?
Self-esteem.
Yes, it can build what I would call self-efficacy, which is your ability to believe in yourself, right? And so what we do with self-efficacy, or what we do with a passion statement, is we are writing a description that allows you to maintain the passion for what you do. So a passion statement is your why. Why do you play basketball? Why do you go to school every day? Why do you want to get an education? For some people, it's got to do with their childhood. For some people, it's got to do with their goals. Some people have motivations and they want to be an NBA or a WNBA player, or it's personal to everybody, right? But the team could always have a passion statement too, because why would it be important for the team to have a passion statement?
To be on the same page.
To be on the same page. We're all here working together. We all want to continue to navigate together, right? And if we are not working towards the same team goal, because somebody's like, oh, I don't care if we win or lose, I want to go to the next level. Do you think that's going to create a good togetherness on the team? No. Okay. So we talked about so many things, but questions? No?
No.
So when we're doing our red, yellow, and gold cards, okay, I want you guys to think of a caddy. What is a caddy?
Well, kinetic could be
Is that a thing that like holds with the stuff?
a person.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So you're getting it. You're getting it.
You carry something in it.
That's right. Right? Your caddy is the person that carries your stuff. Now, when we say this, we're not telling you to hand all your bags off to an underclassman and be like, Coach Hannah said, carry my stuff. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that a caddy is like your accountability partner. Okay? When you're in the red zone, this person is going to let you know you're in the red zone. Okay? A caddy is a person that's like, you done left your shoes. You need to pack the night before. It's a person that is what I call an accountability partner, but it's a person that will never let you be less than what your passion is.
My mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Everybody tell me, who's your caddy?
My mom. Mom.
Mom. Who else?
Our family coach.
Who else? Madeline, you showed. Who's your caddy, Piper?
Probably my mom.
Your mom. Moms are great, aren't they? I'm biased, and I'm only biased because I'm a mom. Moms are great. Listen, we are superheroes. That's what I'm gonna say. Sorry, Coach Lynn, for when you watch this. Moms are superheroes. That's it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm being honest. Your caddy has to be a consistent person in your life that you trust. It's got to be a person in your life that you're going to allow to push you. It's got to be a person in your life that's like, so I'm going to use an example. So if Madeline was like, oh, Piper's my caddy, but every time Piper talks to me, I roll my eyes and I don't listen. Is that a good caddy?
No.
Does that need to be Madeline's caddy? No. A caddy has got to be like, listen, when I don't got my stuff right, they help me get my stuff right. And I appreciate them. I appreciate what they do for me. When they give me that red zone phrase, I'm not like, oh, well, I'm in the red zone. Too bad. I'm going to keep staying here. It's like when they give me that red zone phrase, I want to be a different person. I want to recognize that I'm in the red zone and I need to shift. Right? Now, it's a little different with you guys because in that red zone, I remember being a player. And I remember when my mom would be like, yeah, I had 3 fouls. I'd be like, girl, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you right now. But I never did not remember what she said to me. But when my coach was like, Whitaker, you had 3 fouls. I'm like, okay, like, sorry. That's the stats. That's what it is. Like, because it stuck to me different coming from somebody who understood and valued my passion, right? And so when you are hearing this from your caddy, you want to change. You want to be more self-aware. You want to be like, oh, I remember learning about this in the 2 feet in coaching, right? So takeaways for the day. Do your cards. What kind of cards are we doing?
Red, yellow, green.
Yes. Okay. And I would really recommend, here are my 2 recommendations. They do have note cards that are yellow, red, and green, and they come in a pack together. Okay. Or write it in that color. So if you have your own and you want to do it right away and you don't have that available to you, you can use highlighters. You could use markers right here. This simple, right? Write it. You could write it on a white note card in these colors. We want the colors to be not we don't want the phrases to only be a mental switch. We want you to see the colors and know, right? I've had players take these on the benches with them. And when they come out the game, they look at their red zone card to remind themselves that they need to pull themselves out of it, get their stuff together. Okay? We want to use this in our lifestyle. So we're not only asking you to do this as players, we're asking you to do this as people. So when we talk about not charging your phone in your room or taking it off of 5G, having routines for yourself, doing your mishap cards, this is going to make you an elite player, but it's also going to make you an elite person, right? And it sounds good to be a part of the 3%. When y'all think about 3%, what does that make you feel like?
Right at the top.
You're at the top, right? Nobody wants to hear, oh, they were placed 100th out of 400. It's like, okay, congratulations, right? But how would it make you feel if they were like, oh, they were top 3? Out of 400 people, there are 2 billion people in the world, and they're in the top 3%.
Great.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm doing something. And it is an adjustment, but we've all done it. Not we've all, but Coach Macy, Coach Lynn, Coach Lisa, Coach Gilliard, everybody's done it, right? We've all made this adjustment. And I can only imagine if I had this at your age, the kind of player I would have been versus getting it as an adult, right? So everybody identify your caddy, identify your zone phrases, think about your team zone phrases. So this is something that y'all could do in practice as a team, is your zone phrases, okay? And then we're going to end on it. I'm going to see if y'all can get it. What is our BLT? All right. And what do elite performers never do? They don't recruit your own problems.
Leave nothing to chance.
Never leave nothing to chance.
And consistency is the truest measure of
Consistency is the truest measure of performance. And then the last one, the last test of it all, what are our fears? What are our fear categories?
self, others,
And
Situation.
Fears you create yourself, fears that others create, and fears that situations create. Y'all are getting it. You're getting it. All right. So we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Next week, I think. Yep, next Friday. But before we go, we're going to do our breathing exercise. So everybody get up and get your box.
gird.
Come on.
Well,
All right, everybody got their box? Today I got a big box. I need to take some big deep breaths, okay? So my box is kind of big today. All right, y'all ready? Breathe in and take your box up. Breathe out and over. Breathe in and down. And breathe out and over. All right, one more time. Breathe in and up. Breathe out and over. Breathe in and down. Breathe out and over. Look at y'all. All right, shake it out. All right, with all the energy that y'all have, I want y'all to say, go 2 feet in. I just got to hear it.
go what?
Go
2 feet in.
All right, come on. Now, that's not all the energy you got.
1, 2, 3.
go to
Yes. All right, I want to let you guys know I'm proud of you always. Look at Madeline. Get it. That's how we get it. It's good. Look, it just builds your spirit. I'm proud of you always. I'm telling you, this is a lot of work, but if you put the time into it, it's gonna really change who you are in a good way. In a good way, right? We're gonna enhance who you are. All right. We'll see you guys next week. And if you need anything, let Coach Lynn know. He'll let us know.
Thank
All right. All right. Bye.
Good job, you guys.
Make sure you take your trash out.
I hope you have your accountability.
I'm okay. Ain't never emotion. I can tell about emotion. I'm good on that. I can regulate that. Huh? Bro, I just seen it and I was like, oh.
Where you get from?
Huh? I don't know. You know that little trend when they like have some people sign their baby picture? That would be good for y'all.
No. What?
Like sign like their baby picture or something. Like a picture. That's something to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, tomorrow morning.
Over here, Mom.
I want to see. I want to see Bucks. So, yeah, she got to work. So, yeah, no, she said, oh. Yep, good to see.
He done got up and got breakfast in the morning.
This the last morning. Last morning. You find out. Tree said. The last one. I already told him. I said.
Are you telling me
After this, if y'all want to come, y'all can come. But let's go no more.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
want to see y'all come again. Y'all gonna do this like this.
No, I ain't gonna miss
We
y'all.
have games.
He about to tear. He about to tear.
We have games this day. We need to be here in the morning.
How you gonna miss y'all?
We don't need to be here in the, like, we have games. We don't need to be here.
Exactly.
We don't need to be here.
How you gonna miss y'all?
This is part where you become.
So we need to rest.
Y'all know
Y'all need
how
to get, Santa Barbara says you need to have 7 hours of sleep tonight for future athletes. 7 hours of sleep.
What you gonna do? Oh, that's the last one. I want to see y'all tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, so, yeah, no, she said it.
Y'all just.
But after in the morning, we're done for the Friday. Yeah. It was just in the morning. It's not bad.
I've been trying to feed y'all.
And then, of course, together we have.
Let me try to have y'all come in the morning. And so I already told me, I already told everybody else that morning stuff. And that's what.
Yeah, when you cut the light off, you close the door.
Yeah. All the light is it. Right. No, how it is. Right. I mean, it's beautiful, man. Mhm.
But they're not doing it for fun.
Come on, man. I can do it. Yep. Yeah. No.
Get the whole school.
Oh, wow.
I want the food. Yeah. You correct me in the morning.
You are going to keep me up. We are going to keep Tom because I need Tom. Extremely representation.
Stop.
So, do you- good? It's a beautiful- All right. You're gonna show up on Wednesday? I think that's in the morning. I think it's full of money. And you know what's gonna do with the whole national team? They're not doing it. If everybody's not in town, they don't want to do it. Now y'all do your own, they're doing your own. But guys, you know, sir.
They just feeling that.
Oh God.
It's gone.
Do no more. So there's nothing this, yeah. But
Yeah, listen.
there's something else. Middle school, I don't know what the fuck is. You wanna contain everything? Thinking what's up?
Tell me how you think. She was in anatomy class. Because actually I'm always in the grade class. So if they have cameras, then it's like, it's like, wow. And they say like,
I would have put on.
so we all started crying. I felt so bad. So,
Oh, yeah.
bro, then in math class, he was just like dozing off during her Dr. Shows of the ages. What's up? Keep on with me. I actually so rude to her.
Yeah, they can't put a damn difference in a black face. They don't know if you got swell on that. They just think everybody's giving a face. It'll be Oh, hell. Oh. Oh. So, hell, this is what it is. You put on- Right, that's yeah. You get a little action in the feet. You're like, yeah. Okay. I have to cook this. Right. Yeah, always. I'll be mad at me when I fuck over
Right there.
yeah. I'll be mad when I fuck over it. Oh, like, yeah. Yeah, I'm fucking hard. This thing, baby.